Good morning. Welcome. Good morning. Okay. I think I want to talk about belief, but I'm not sure. Let's see what happens. It's maybe a little bit boring to be read to, but I am going to read a little something that came forward, some writing, and we'll get to it. The invitation can be expressed very simply as remember who you are. Question the ideas and narratives and beliefs of a separate self and find out what is fundamentally always, already, here, and now. Then practice living through the moments that we're gifted from the great mystery, living from and as what you have remembered. Live in, from, through, and as the remembered essence of uncaused love, or whatever your deepest understanding and current felt sense of the deepest sense of who you are. Live from that. Practice living from that. In the moment, as the moment. There is no other moment. The only way is through. The only way is through. Through whatever is presently, currently displaying as the appearance, the belief. But if we are to transform, transmute the suffering of life, we walk through as original love. And love moves to love. As Rumi said, what was said to the rose that made it open was said to me here in my chest. You can plant a corn seed, and guess what? You're going to get a corn plant, not a strawberry. We are the seeds of the divine. We are the expressions of that. We are nothing but that. The rest is a fantasy, an appearance that is so strong, so seductive, so mesmerizing, that the belief in it is that fast. So fast, guys. Even us that have had the rare good fortune to glimpse the empty center, the true nature, and have a direct encounter of that, can spin off into wild belief systems, wild dead ends and cul-de-sacs of belief. We hear a word, love. We hear a word, bodhisattva. We hear a word, thou, or Republican, Democrat. And I mean, no offense, but we freak the fuck out. The perception, the perceptual field stays in belief or history. Some of us have had grand, God-given, what did Aji used to call them? Exalted experiences. But that's not a guarantee. That's not like, oh, now you shall always have this to relate to, refer to, and describe the rest of your spiritual development and unfolding by. Then it's just another belief again. The belief that spiritual awakening must include grand experiences. You see how it can come in? It's not always what the mind would call negative. The grabbing can be very on all the what Dr. Hawkins used to say, spiritual candy as well. Here, man, I loved me some big experiences. Woo! I was a big experiencer. Loved it. Loved the juice. Loved the up. Loved the down. And I mistook all of that for life. Totally bought in to that was me, life, God. The rug was pulled out of all of that, and the screen went blank. No vision, no imagination, no dreaming, no intuition, no glass body empath to be special or not even a good person. All a matter of belief. Belief, belief. Divisive belief. Take a look at it. I'm not asking you to believe anything. I hope you disbelieve everything while you're here, just for fun, and see what happens. Take a look. Just take a look. Are the moments, the actuality, the is of this, the words that might be spoken, the weather that might happen, the stream of coming and going, where is it lived from? Where is it lived from? Belief around it, categorizing, narrating, dividing, chopping up reality into little bits. It's okay because that's how we communicate. I'm not entirely convinced that's how we're always going to communicate, but that's how we do it now. But how much reality are you giving it? How much of your attention, your God-given life force and expression are you giving to this idea that all of the belief systems sitting on top of the actuality are real? It's not that we have to throw away the entire how to say it. Let's go from a different angle here. One will bloom and flower as one is. Don't worry. The corn will be corn. The rose will be rose. The pine tree will be pine tree. This beautiful pink chair will be a beautiful pink chair, thanks be to God. But the living of that, is either lived as a compensation and a defensible sort of area called me, or it's lived from, as, through, in, amidst, amongst original love. The dynamic, you might say, the gift, the glory, which is a synonym for beauty, the beauty of Source. Consciously lived as that, enjoyed, in grief, in sorrow. You know, people would say, well, did you grieve when your mother passed? Do awake people grieve? Or, here's the deal, the believing mind can't imagine this life. It's not going to be grokked through intellectual understanding. It's not going to be grokked through intellectual understanding. It's not going to happen through an intellectual, conceptual, believing me that is going to get it. We can say it and we can say it and we can say it, and a sincere impulse towards the discovery of true nature goes beyond everyday desires and wants. It is a prayer that precipitates a deconstruction of the apparent reality that is currently shaped by belief. Giving away all the conceptual holding and all the ideas that are covering up the ground of awareness that simply is. The remembering is an unbecoming, an undeceiving, an undefending, unimaginable surrender. It's a sober, face-to-face encounter with uncertainty and impermanence. No turning away. No ability. You won't have the ability. You will not have the ability to turn away and hide out in some spiritually advanced idea. We can't turn away from our experience by using distractions, shoulds, defenses, entitlements, victimhood, achievements, and the endless continuation of the stories of a suffering me. You know, Byron Katie has a beautiful story in one of her books where, you know, hers was so dramatic, right? Like all the way through from one day to the next. And she would wander around the streets of LA sobbing and crying and gnashing and her hair on fire, you know. And people would be like, oh my God, you know. And she'd go up to people and be like, can you hold me now, you know. And people were, are you okay? What are you doing? I'm undoing creation. I'm undoing the beliefs that have been running this show. So, I mean, people have heard me say it before. It's a little rude maybe, but, you know, there were some people around this expression that thought it should be sort of Kuan Yin on a lily pad. if you're awake, well, I wasn't wandering around LA, but I was wandering around a lot of other places with my hair on fire, unbecoming, deconstructing. And it doesn't have to be dramatic like that. I can feel the egos going, okay, day one, no thanks. No, thank you. It's okay. That's what our egos will do. They're going to say, no, you're circling the drain. Get back to base. Get back to the belief that you are this, that, the other thing. You're in control. You're doing everything. You actually have will. Questions. Question. I would question all of that. This is an invitation to question all of that. Gently, kindly. The thing is, we don't have to, we know we're in the territory of like the ego's deep fear of demise. When, we start really like defending positions, even spiritual ones, but really defending positions. Believing even actually more, even though we've seen the dark abyss of unbecoming. Everyone here sat on the cushion long enough to go, whoa, yeah, okay, there's nothing at the center. But it'll just line right back up and start like chopping up, I don't know, spirituality and stuff, or the people that you meet into little like that category, this category. But I'm here, and you just know. You don't have to judge. You don't have to deny. You just know if something needs defending, it's not a self-evident truth, because truth is self-evident. Truth is self-evident. It's just good information is all. It's just like, okay, there's that. It's, if we start hammering or trying to live the actual journey of unbecoming, this deconstruction, through a lens of judgment, I beg you not to do it. I beg you not to do that. It's not like that. Love is. Original love is. It's just, we're opening, the sun is shining, we're opening the curtains. Maybe we're glimpsing, hanging up thinner curtains, whatever it is, but we don't have to earn it's just remembering, coming back, coming home, and then what starts spontaneously, it's very, very spontaneous, natural, like the unfolding of the rose. What starts living is the devotion devotion to that return to original love through the moments that are presenting, through the obscurations that are presenting, through the one and only expression that is here now, not historic, not futuristic. The felt sense of this here now spontaneously begins to be a sort of alchemical, transmutative vessel of that which it is made up of and comes from and is. The reflection of the mind gets clearer. So the material reflection becomes closer to its divine nature. It isn't that we are earning it or achieving it, or is there devotion and I guess we want to say practice? You know, you have to show up in the way that listen, we all know when something's serving and when it's not. So we're just sincere about that. What is it serving? If it's serving a lot of, you know, we can tell by the reflection what it's serving. And then that's a sincere moment with oneself. And then that's the moment of, okay, dropping the attention. What's my deepest sense, my deepest felt sense of the unchanging, timeless, formless, spacious awareness that is? What is that sense? And you stay open, right there, available. There can be lots of temptations. Well, it wasn't like this last time. And last time I had this big vision, and or it wasn't like this, it wasn't like that. No. Don't go anywhere. Don't go anywhere. The only way is through this here. What does it take to give away and surrender all ideas and images of what it's going to take to awaken, or what it's going to take to live as abiding awakenedness? What is it? All that's got to go too. Open heart, open mind means coming without an agenda, without an expectation, a comparison. And with the turning loose of all of this, there is a great capacity, and authentic expression begins to flower in service to itself, or as we would say from a personal standpoint, benefiting all being, serving itself as itself, through itself, from itself, as itself. When we rest as that, liberated wholeheartedness naturally unfolds and informs it, that in the true sense of that word, forms itself in consciousness as consciousness. as an avenue of what it is, rather than, here comes the love, you can't stop it, try to stop the moment, you can't stop the moment, no stopping the moment. Lots of people try with various methods of going unconscious. And yet here it is. Here it is. And then the belief manufacturer is like a factory conveyor belt with different kinds of stamps on it. This belief, that belief, this belief, that belief. And it's just forming original love into various expressions of war, essentially. And then it's like, well, where's God in these war zones, or in my deep suffering, or where isn't the source of all? Certainly the source of all, original love, expressing from and as the potential of the dark ground, pervades time and space, is time and space, is nothing but givingness, delivery, doom, boom. But can it be obscured through belief? Yes. Look around, or look inside our own mind. But the liberated wholeheartedness that naturally unfolds reflects as that. There's nobody in there getting to know how, why, what. That's really, it's challenging, guys, for the one who thinks I am something. I am someone. I exist as an isolated island. That's really challenging, because it will just hit every single wound that we think we need to exert a bunch of control around. And so the control thing will just amp. And you know how none of us are out slicing people to bits or whatever, so the war will occur in the mind. Seal it. What was the Star Wars thing? Reflectors up! Seal the perimeter! Somebody is telling us we don't have control. That's not a pleasant reality for a separate self that is 100% based in personal will, defense. Most of us have moved past that, but nevertheless, it can really raise its head, can't it? If it gets like somebody's trying to make me do something that I don't want to do. I really am not asking anybody to adopt anything, take what I say to be truth, believe something. I would just, I speak very intensely. My whole family does. So it comes across that way. But I have absolute, and I mean this genuinely, I have absolute confidence in every single one of the expressions of original love that original love will dawn. There's no other way. There's no other conceivable. There's nothing else to conceive of here. Nothing else takes root. Nothing. It just kind of slides off, even though it looks various shades of crazy here, and the apparent there. Nothing else shines through other than originality. Originality. The glory of that. The beauty of that. I'm genuine right now. So I don't need anyone to believe anything. Tim and I were having a conversation before retreat started. He was trying to help me. God bless him. Oh. Is it really? Is it really impossible? Is it really so hard for us to see, understand apparently different points of view simultaneously? You know, can there only be one point of view, and then the ego must convince itself and everything else that that's the point of view? You know, can there be a conversation where somebody says, yeah, boy, you know, the glass dropped and it broke, and I saw this and felt that. And the other person says, and I saw this and felt that. And the other person says, I saw this and felt that. And we all go, wow, there is the facets of the diamond mind. There is the garden. Now, what's the same and what's true? What's common? What's simple? What's real? What's actual? You know, Bob Dylan has a famous line. This is what Tim came up with. He was like, well, you know, honey, I think it's that Bob Dylan thing you're so into. Because I'm trying to tell him, how do I say this? I don't know how to say it. I don't know if any of you listen to Blood on the Tracks, but Tangled Up in Blue. We always did feel the same. We just saw it from a different point of view. We always did feel the same. We just saw it from a different point of view. Thanks be to God. Do we want to see this, or do we want to see one thing? My thing. I'm threatened by anything that isn't my thing. Authenticity, expressive authenticity in the garden of God. Let's give it a try. I mean, maybe it's a good ride. Oh, I love authenticity. I don't think this is anybody in this room, but hey, as my dear friend Ani said, none of us are walking on water yet. That's not a permission slip for the ego to beat the crap out of oneself or everyone else, right? I'm authentic, man. This is authentically how I feel. Jennifer said to be authentic. And this is authentic. Right? That's to completely misunderstand to use a Dr. Hawkins phrase, the level of consciousness that is making itself known in this Sangha, as this Sangha. Authenticity is not indulgence and denial, that game. I either have to deny everything I'm feeling and hang out in some sort of transcendent space because none of it's actually real, it's all a big illusion, or I have to defend because I'm living my truth. That's not it. And we all know it's not it because we can feel the pain of that. We can feel the pain of that. The flowers aren't fighting over a personal dominion. They're shining as what they are. This is the whole thing that we always talk about, where we love nature. It's unself-conscious. So we see ourselves there and we resonate deeply at a different level than self-consciousness, where everything is about, at the center is actually about me. We look to what we call nature, forgetting true nature here, the seeingness that is, and we glory in it. That is the actuality in what we call human beingness as well, but it's obscured with an old idea called me. And that's just an old idea. So, anyway, it starts breaking down, and it's breaking down collectively, and that's what we call the dark night, because all of the dross of what isn't going to serve the next phase of unfolding is being brought to the surface. And the only way is through whatever is currently displaying. But we walk through as love, transforming, transmuting, an avenue for the reality. An avenue of awareness. An avenue of original love. With kindness for the process, yeah? I mean, questioning these beliefs. They can really get going at retreat. I'm assuming that's why we all come. What Sharon calls it cooking. Sit here and cook. This is such a privilege. I mean, we're not running from bombs, walking 20 miles to fetch water, sitting in a prison cell somewhere. So there's some responsibility with that. Kindness for the process. but devotion as well to you, to not, I don't care what you devote yourself to, but does it serve? I mean, there is an unfolding that is you. I think I'm over time because I don't know why, but